person might say, since envy, desire, and pursuit of honor, and the like, are wrong path, and derive person from this world, I should separate from them to a very great degree, and move away from them to the opposite extreme. For example, he will not eat meat, nor drink wine, nor marry, nor live in a pleasant home, nor wear fine clothing, but rather wear sackcloth and coarse wool and the like, just as a pagan priest does. Okay, continue. This too is a bad path, and it is forbidden to walk upon it. Number 5. The Shmona Prakim, chapter 4. Rambam explains that at certain times, many of the pious adopted ascetic practices as a safeguard against excessive involvement in materialism. However, they never regarded such a practice as a goal of their own right. So the fast, for example, somebody want to fast, right? So this fast should be not in order not to it and torture himself, but it should be like maybe for some spiritual growth or some he's praying and like some other cause than not eating and drinking.
Right.
So this fasting should not be a goal. Okay. Others observe their behavior and mistook asceticism for an end. Mistook as asceticism for an end rather than a means to achieve the middle path. So it's one of the things that which is called maricine. So people can misunderstand what you're doing. Understand? So
right.
On Shabbos, and we don't do many things, or even not on Shabbos, so we don't do some things because, like for people who do not know, it looks looks not right. Okay. I mean, or they not right, or not right, or they would learn from you and apply it in their own circumstances. Maybe in your specific situation it was permitted, but in their situation it's prohibited 100%. Okay. Continue. From the Rambam stated Shmona Prakim, it would appear that there are two drawbacks to asceticism. Okay. A. It might lead person to poor health, illness, and lack of strength, which would prevent him from serving God, as Rambam states in Halachah 3. So basically, the straightforward way, as we said before, we learned before, that the person has to be healthy, and just kill yourself with these fasts and like starving yourself, and that's not healthy. That's not good. Right. A person when a person is sick, not sick, when he's hungry, he cannot think straight. He cannot learn. He cannot understand things. I mean, because in his mind, it's always food. Right. So, and B, person might err and feel that he has fulfilled his obligation to serve God through these ascetic practices. As a result, he may never feel he need to dedicate himself to the service of God as he prescribed in the Torah. He means Hashem. So that's how Misilas Yesharim starts. I think it's in the first paragraph. Yeah, go ahead.
So they're saying basically a person who like isolates himself to the point of like, to like get away from everything. You might say, oh, I've done enough. And that's it. Like now I can, I've sacrificed a year. So exactly. Maybe that's it, right?
Exactly. So look, I'm holy. They're all eating three times a day, and I'm eating a piece of bread in the morning, and that's it. And drink some stale water. So in his mind,
right?
He's on
I did my duty.
Yeah, I mean, in his mind, he's on a high spiritual level. All of these people, all of the other people beside him, right? They're on a very low spiritual level, and they only think about the food, right? Like in his mind. So it's plays tricks. So many times, like it's not going to come to you like and say don't do this or do this avera. He's clever. He's going to come from other direction. He said no, you have to go a level and a notch above everybody. You understand? And they suggest some crazy thing, and then a person cannot keep up with this thing, and he's going to break. And I had this discussion. I was like with somebody. And the person wanted to take upon himself like a study of the Torah with like enormous amount. And I told him, like from my experience, it's too much. I mean, for Rav Kanievsky, yeah, he can do it, sure. But you and I, probably not. Most definitely not.
You know what it is? They see, because I remember thinking about something like this, and I was like, oh, you know, first of all, you get almost like mesmerized by these Gdoladol, like wow, like Rav Ham Kanievsky, Rabbi Yosef, so many books. Maybe if I read this many books, I just read and study, I'll be like them. And because I've had this thought, I'm like, wow, if only I could read that many, you know, like maybe I'll just try to stay up all night. And I'm like thinking, wait, me stay up all night? I can barely stay up past 11 o'clock, you know. I wake up early to study, stay up late at night. It's not something I could do. Like, and I know it, you know, it's like a weakness I have that I'll eventually try to work on, where I could stay up a little later. But no, it's easy how to see, like, you know.
If you can get up early, it's actually better than stay up later.
Really? You think so?
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I
don't know, because I'm reading. I like getting up early. Like for me, I wake up at like 4:30, 5 a.m. Like I just need 6 hours of sleep. My body. That's what my body functions on. Like it wakes up automatically on its own. No matter what time I go to bed, I wake up in between like 5. If I go to bed at like midnight, I'll still wake up at like 5, 6 a.m. But if I go to bed at like 10, I'll wake up at 4:45. Just that's the way my body is. You know, now I wake up more with like, all right, I got to get up, study. You know, before I would just get up to, you know, I'd be maybe a little sluggish, but whatever. That's not the point. I'm just saying, I can see how like pride can eventually this make a person more proud, because let's say he's like, oh, you know, I fasted for like a day, you know, like for Hashem, you know, and then like I studied all day, and then all of a sudden it's like, who are you? Like you've been Baal Tshuva for a year, and you know they think that they also, I've met people who think they've been Baal Tshuva, they were Baal Tshuvas for like 3 years. I think he was a convert, and I remember telling them, I was like, oh, you know, I wish like my friends can, you know, become more Jewish. Like, you know, I'm trying to talk to them. You know, like my best friend, he's like, oh, you should let him talk to me. And I'm like thinking, who are you? You know, like you're Baal Tshuva yourself. Like how you're going to let him talk to me? Like, you know, I don't know. I just didn't like it. It feels like pride can easily get like, he's a very intelligent guy and very like, you know, like he loves studying, but it's like, still, like, you know, I would never be like, oh, you should let him talk to me. You know, like I'm not even that, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, pride can get in the way here. You know, if you think you're doing better than everybody else, you're doing more than everybody else. Right?
No, yeah, I mean, yes, but the point, what I was trying to make, that sometimes Satan will come from the opposite direction, and he would make you fall. Like with that person that said that he wants to learn 100 pages of the Mishnah a day in 3 hours. I said, you're not going to be able. No, he said, I can read if I concentrate, and it's a very smart, very intelligent person.
But that's a pride thing, no? Isn't that like a little bit pride?
No. I told him, once you miss a day, so next day we would need to make 200 pages. Are you strong enough to say no to everybody? So me personally, everybody knows not to invite me. Why? Because I'm not going to come. Like every day, Baruch Hashem, I have classes, and I'm not going to cancel the classes.
Right.
Unless, I don't know, unless event cannot take place without me, for whatever reason. So, but otherwise, I'm not going to come. So I use that strong, at least that strong, like not to waste time, 100 pages. I mean, Baruch Hashem, he listened to me, he didn't do it, but but you have to be reasonable because that's
right.
what Satan wants. He wants you to fail, and I say, look at you, you loser. Yeah, you understand? And personally, going to get into depression and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? Maybe my mother-in-law was right about me being a loser. Maybe right? Maybe my sister-in-law was right. So yeah, so we don't give Satan this thing. Okay, so continue. Continue with the commentary. There is a third disadvantage. So we said the first one is it can deteriorate his health for sure, and second that he might feel proud, right? And as a result, he said, no, I'm doing much more than other people. Yeah, you're doing much more than other people in this area, but in all other areas, you're complete failure, right? That's okay. There is a third disadvantage. There is a stress heavily by the teachings of Kabbalah and Hasidut, and may be hinted at the Rambam statement in the following halachas. Okay. The Zohar, volume 1, page 42b, states that God creates the world in order to let himself be known. Okay, that's similarly Tanya, chapter 33, explains that God created the world because he desired to have dwelling place in a lower world. Thus, a person who, I'm not sure why he said it's Tanya, I think it's from Talmud. I'm not sure why he said that. Okay, maybe the Tanya also said it. There is no problem. Thus, a person who tends to other worldliness and asceticism defeats the God's purpose of creation. Let me read it again. Not clear. Similarly, explains that God created the world because he desired to have dwelling place in lower worlds. Okay, that's what he desired. Okay, that's clear. Thus, a person who tends to overworldliness and asceticism defeats purpose in creation. Maybe that God is. For me, it's not clear the idea. Maybe it means that Hashem is not going to be known because a person is trying to stay away from some things. Maybe that's Hashem is not going to be known. I'm not sure what he meant. Like some information is missing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.